Namaste and welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, hi, my name is Shivani. I like to post videos Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometime on Sundays. We do a lot of DIY masks on this channel. We do a lot of product reviews and some celebrity looks. So if that sounds something you'd be interested in, please don't forget to subscribe. I would love for you to be part of my YouTube family. So in today's video, we're trying out Ofra products and I'm super excited because I've actually never tried anything from Ofra and I know their highlighters are super amazing, but I've never actually tried them. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't have a full face of products, but I do have a decent amount of products that we can make it work. The first thing I'm going to try today from Ofra is their primer, and this is their Rodeo Dry Primer. So on the box it says that it is a champagne primer that dries to a satin finish, while pores are out of focus with a radiant payoff. Use this primer solo mixed in with your foundation or a perfect base for a dewy glam that's not so oily or greasy. I've actually not even opened up the packaging. It just got here. Like it just was delivered. So I'm super excited. This is what it looks like. And I really actually like the packaging. It's very sleek. Let's open up the product. About 2 pumps of it. And I'm sorry, this is what it looks like inside. So this is what it looks like. And it does kind of look like a highlighter actually. But we're going to apply it and see how it goes. I'm afraid to apply it all over the face, but I guess that's what you're supposed to do. All right, I'm going to blend it in first and see. So I feel like it's not super reflective once it's blended in, but it does give you that very nice sheen, very nice glow to your skin. And I do feel like you can use it all over your face. So I'm going to kind of pat the product in and then blend it up. And it dries up pretty fast. It doesn't seem like it is like a very liquidy formula. Once it's on the skin, it's kind of absorbed in, which is nice. It actually minimized my pores and it didn't bring out my texture. I was actually afraid that it's going to bring out my texture because any glowy product you put on usually brings out your texture. So I was a little afraid, but it didn't. And I have to say my skin is actually looking really nice as it's like absorbing into the skin, and it is not oily and it is not greasy, which is great as well. So let's move on to our foundation. And for my foundation today, I'm going to use this Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation, and I'm using this in the shade 355N. And I'm going to apply my foundation using this Ofra sponge. I'm super excited because a lot of people say this is better than beauty blenders, so I am going to try it out and let you guys know for myself. You know, I did a full review on this foundation, and after that, today's the first time I'm actually trying it. And I forgot how good this foundation really is. And it's looking really good on the skin too. Moving on to my concealer, I'm going to take this Born This Way concealer, and this is in the shade Sand. And I'm just going to take that on the inner corner and a little bit right around here. And I'm going to take that sponge and just blend it out. Okay, to set under my eyes, I'm actually going to go into this palette. This is from Ofra and this is their Free Spirit palette. And I felt like that this palette here itself is good for your full face, and that's kind of what I wanted to try. So I'm going to take this banana shade out of here and I'm going to set under my eyes with that. All right, so you want to make sure that there's no creases under your eyes. And then I'm going to pick up that banana powder and I'm going to set right under my eyes with that powder. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that banana powder and I'm picking that up on the sponge. And I'm just going to go back in and set it under my eyes. And then whatever's left on the sponge, I'm not really picking up anything. Just going to go over my eyelids too. Just so it kind of sets them as well. I feel like the base is looking really good. I don't want to jinx it yet, but I feel like it's looking good. So I'm going to go back in that palette and I'm going to take this bronzer shade here. And I'm going to start by stamping the product. And then we'll see how the colors look. Oh, that looks really nice. And I'm really stamping the product, as you can see, because I didn't really set my face with the powder and I don't want it to get patchy. So that's one way of avoiding that. I'm going to take a little bit of it on my jawline too. And I'm barely touching the brush when I'm doing my jawline. Now from the palette, I'm going to go into this blush shade here. And this blush feels like a perfect coral pink for the summertime. So let's see how it performs. I've been trying this Sephora 72. This is a demi fan brush, and this is what it looks like. And when you look at this brush, it's pretty huge, but this is such a good brush for blush. I don't know what the real purpose of this brush is, but for blush, I feel like it's perfect because it hugs your cheeks right here. And you can't really go wrong with the placement of your blush with this brush. I feel it really, really does do a good job, and you're done within a minute. Okay, so maybe I went a little heavy-handed with the blush, but it's going to work. We're going to take our hyaluronic acid from ColourPop, and I really love this spray. I feel like this is very, very hydrating, and it kind of keeps your makeup in place as well. And the mister on here is really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this all over my face. And as that spray is drying, I'm going to take my beauty blender, and first I'm going to go over to my highlighted areas, and then I'm going to take it over my blush as well. For highlighting, I'm going to take this shade here, and this is, I think, the Rodeo Drive highlighter that is super, super popular. Let me just make sure. Yep, I'm actually going to take that same powder brush that I used, and I'm going to apply that on the highest points of my cheeks. I feel like you guys know by now that anything that gives me this kind of a shine, I really like. So I definitely like this highlighter. It really looks like almost nothing on the skin and it gives you that shine. It's a really good highlighter actually. You know how usually you can tell like if it's a powder highlight, you can see where it's applied and you can kind of detect it on the skin, but this one you really can't. This one looks really nice on the skin. Then whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to take that on the bridge of my nose just to give it that eye-catching highlight there. Okay, so I'm tempted to do my forehead because I always do my forehead, but I feel like this might be a little too shiny. Eh, let's do it. I think it's okay. And I have nowhere to go right now because we're all quarantined, so this is a perfect time to try every kind of crazy trick there is that you ever wanted to try. This is such a good highlight. This is a really good palette so far. I really like it. You can really do your full face other than the foundation. You are good to go with this palette. So I'm actually going to see how much is this palette. I'm going to either leave it in the description box below or I'm going to leave it on the screen somewhere. All right, so I feel like that you have two mattes in the palette and then you have shimmers in the palette. So these two down here are mattes, and then all the shadows here, I feel like they're kind of like a satin finish. So I'm going to start off with the matte shade and then we'll see where we're going. I'm going to go into the shade called Latte, and I'm going to take the shade all over my lid. Next, I'm going to go into this darker shade here, which is called French Mocha. And this shade is kind of where we're going to find out if it actually has any fallout or are we going to be okay. I'm going to take that just on the outer V of my eye. I don't feel like that these shades are super, super pigmented, but we're going to try to work with them. You know what? I want to go into this teal blue shade here because I really want to try the colors. So I'm going to go with that. I'm actually going to take that from the center and I'm going to start packing the color onto my lid. That's actually showing up. I did not think that that color was going to show up. And I'm going to just keep building it up onto my lid. And I'm just packing this color on. And I have to tell you guys, I was afraid that there was going to be so much fallout, but there is almost no fallout. And right now I'm just kind of pressing the product on. I'm not really blending it. I just want to build the color first. Okay, so I feel like it's a little dusty in the pan, but when you go onto your eyes, it's not really that dusty. And you kind of have to tap off the product. That's what you got to make sure. Just taking this in the crease and making sure that I don't have any harsh lines there. I'm kind of softening it up at the same time. I might deepen it up later, but I feel like so far it's looking good just like that. But I'm going to deepen up the outer V. So what I want to do is I actually want to take my setting spray and I'm going to dip my finger into the setting spray and I'm going to go back in that blue shadow. And I'm just going to kind of rub it off on the back of my hand because I don't want this to become very chunky on my eyes. And then I'm going to kind of build up that color with that wet eyeshadow. I feel like you get a better payoff in the color if you do that. Now I'm going to go back into that dark brown shade and I'm really going to deepen up my outer V with that. And I'm taking that brown kind of over that blue just to blend the two together. And then just using my finger, I want to make sure that these two blend out. So I'm going to take a little bit more of the dark shade and I'm going to run that on my lower lash. Somehow the blue got in the inner corner here and I feel like it looks nice. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Actually, I didn't realize that in this highlighter wheel, there's this white color. I'm actually going to pick up a little bit of that, like a very tiny bit of it, and see how that looks on my inner corner. Yeah, I feel like that is so much better. I feel like the blue really goes with that white silvery shade. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Going to take this black eye pencil from Rimmel London and I'm going to run it very close to my lashes. I'm also going to tight line with that. For my mascara today, I'm going to take this mascara from Huda Beauty. And if you guys want to see a full review on this mascara, I will leave it in the description box below. And with this mascara, I always like to go in with the volume side first and then go in with the curl and length side. I feel like that gives me the best results for my lashes. Next for my lips, I'm going to take this lipstick from Ofra and this is in the shade Sonoma. You know what? I have to tell you guys that the packaging of a product really makes a big deal. And I just love how this just like magnetizes. I don't know. Something about that is really cool. And I'm also going to fill in my eyebrows and I'll be right back. This lipstick was actually very creamy and very moisturizing. I just didn't like the color with the eyes today, but I feel like this is a really good lipstick to have. I'm actually going to take this Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb, and this is one of their mini gloss bombs, which I really like, and this is in the shade Hot Chocolate. And here's the finished look. I feel like everything kind of really worked out today. I did like everything we tried. You know, this Ofra sponge is actually a really good dupe for your beauty blenders. The primer that we tried today, I just checked online. It is on sale for $10. I feel like that's a really good deal. And I also looked at the price of this palette, and right now this is on sale for $49, which is 50% off. And I really feel like this is worth your $49 because you do get a really good size of bronzer, you get good highlighters here, you get a decent amount of colors for your eyeshadows, and two blushes up here. And I feel like that's really worth your money. So if you are interested in a palette like that, you know, you have pretty much the whole face with that just one palette, I think it's amazing. This is a really good product to have. What else did we try? I did really like the lipstick too, but I just didn't like the color of it. I feel that it was really clashing with my eyes, like I said earlier. And that's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe. And also don't forget to hit that notification bell. I really want to say thank you for spending your time with me today, and I will see you next time. Ciao.